Good evening. This is Leila Rao. I'm here with the LIA100 interview series, and my guest today is April Jefferson, who is an Agile coach who does incredible work in community leadership and engagement in the Detroit area. Welcome, April.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to have you here because I really want to talk about your journey. And it sounds like you kind of had a unique journey to get to where you are today.
Well, my journey kind of built upon the sense of information, and I'll kind of start where I began in this Agile space. I started off as an XP team member, and as I moved on to other roles, I shared my experiences, and that's where I said that began my coaching path without a title, by just acting in that role. So that's how it began to me. And I began just having other opportunities to spread it out in coaching, where coaching from one team to multiple teams, and then to coaching, CIOs and at scale, and other at other different engagements. So that's how I've grown as a coach, by first being a team member.
I'm going to talk about your self-described title of choice, which is Experienced Craftswoman and Mindset Optimizer. I'm sorry, I think I'm messing it up a little bit. Could you talk about how that title became yours?
Yeah, Experienced Craftswoman and Mindset Harmonizer. That crafted over some months. I was a part of a program called 10 Women Strong, and it was for Agile Women in Leadership. Meaning, yes, you through this program recognize, like, I am a leader, and 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 with a circle of women, to understanding, that how leadership is a verb, even more. And I didn't come in as thinking I'm not a leader, but understanding, hey, what truly is, like, over time, what has become my gift, and my talent, of what I'm doing well, and how I'm trying to add value in this community. And what I've learned in reflection is that I design experience as for people. I really believe in applied learning. It's interactive, and allows people to, by doing, to understand, for self-discovery. And of course, that's my coaching approach as well, like coaching, not consulting, as I like to say. And that it doesn't mean that you're never consult, but that's limited, and that's in small increments, when invited in to share, like, many ways that things can manifest, and possibilities. Where the mindset harmonizer comes in is, I like to say that I don't just walk in what we call an agile mindset. I believe there's a lean mindset. I'm a big, let's remove waste, let's focus on flow. And the and in my exploration of what I believe is a waste that people talk about a lot, is the waste of human potential. And I find that that ignites when we take on other mindsets, such as with improv, yes and thinking, for example. And another big one, design thinking, and that mindset, is similar, like design thinking, agile, lean. They all have this, circle, a flow, on how we're engaging with the doing of the work. And another one that's really big, which you'll probably hear throughout this conversation, is a big thing of mine, is open space. There's principles and a rule that govern open space. And for me, those have become a part of my mindset and on how I walk through life, not as simply a ceremony, that it is how you lead. My volume, I'm not hearing you, Leila.
Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I was going to ask you about all of these different approaches that you use. How did you make them your own? Like, is it a inbuilt thing for April to say, here's the newest thing, I want to learn, absorb that? Or did you have to cultivate and learn your way through all these different disciplines?
For me, it's about challenging myself and seeking to understand. And with seeking to understand and explore, I challenge myself to get engaged with something I don't know. For like when I got into speaking, I spoke about something often about I don't know and I want to learn. And in learning, um, I I explored things which at the time, and I don't think some, but not all at this time. We used to call them like soft skills, and it's like, hey, all this other stuff. I don't do talks about agile process and that type of thing. It's it's the other ways that we engage with one another, how we walk through life, and that's really from my discovery is that as a coach, a lot of the things is about culture and people. Honestly, is that people can do the work. It's not a process. When given the room to breathe and explore and experiment, they're able to figure things out. We're able to share, hey, this is one way to go about it. How would you like to explore and go about it and have those opportunities to just figure it out? Um, and figuring it out, understanding how to work with people to figure it out, and how it's better to go through that journey of figuring it out with one another and not on your own.
I think I see a parallel between your coaching, the way you're describing it, and what I've seen you do as an open space facilitator, that sense of creating and holding a space so other people can be on a discovery of self journey collaboratively. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Um,
Awesome.
when I'm holding space, it's not about me. I'm outside of it. It's about connecting one another and allowing them to explore what manifests. It takes a lot of work and to design for that, you know. And of course, that's around a theme, uh, something that unites people. Um, that is that's kind of like the glorious uh, thing about, and the beauty of it is that people get excited about, wow, like what does this look like? Because we don't know, and how the multiple ways it will manifest and what can come of it. That's pretty exciting.
It is, and I love this conversation that we're having about the ideals of coaching and how you approach coaching. But I also want to cover some of the pragmatics a little bit. I think you've done a wide range of work in coaching, working for big organizations. I believe you're now working as an independent consultant, correct?
Yes, I'm partnering uh, with a company on on an engagement. So that is correct.
What has that transition been for, like, from going from being an employee to managing your own business? It tends to be a pivotal moment for most women.
Well, I really began this like 9 years ago, where I went off on my own as a corp to corp, and it was really just saying I'm gonna challenge myself and take an opportunity. And I made a decision then to, when I've had pivotal moments in my career path, and I decided to take the most challenging one. And my decision to go off on my own is, instead of always like having someone else take on that extra income, by having uh, employing me, that I would benefit more from it. So
No,
that's
and my,
basically it. That's like, I wanted to benefit. Let me hold on a little bit more to the money,
exactly.
for for myself. And also, in doing so, I learned a lot of wonderful things. Is that I now had an opportunity to invest in my own learning, which before, a company has never paid for me to do anywhere, go anywhere. So I began to say, when I asked others, uh, and someone actually helped me out and like shared information, I said, man, like, you get to go to all these conferences. How are you doing it? Well, invest in the community that you want to learn from. So I go, okay, awesome idea. So that's where I came in with the intention. It's like, let me share something, learn about something, share it out. And then I can also get the benefit of uh, going to this space and learning as well. So that's how I began speaking, is with the desire to just be able to get in, instead of, and not having to pay all the hundreds and thousands of dollars myself for a conference ticket. We can go into about getting income to speak. That's something different. But to get a ticket to get in, investing, putting that sweat equity in order to have access.
I love that you've transitioned to our next point about community, because from what I know of you, you are tremendously involved in the community, and you have been for a long time. Do you want to talk about kind of overview of what you do in the community, or focus on your upcoming event, which is pretty extraordinary?
So for me, and I would also say, what this kind of leads in as well, my first speaking engagement, someone paired with me, and that's what I like to do for others, is pair with people. Most of my talks you'll see, or workshops, you'll see pairing and happen, and say, oh, let's do this together. Uh, and because I believe in like practicing what we preach as well, like, let's let's do things with others. So that's quite fun. And what I'm doing in the community and offering, it's a not for profit event, open space, of course, uh, geared toward women in agile. All genders are welcome. Um, and the theme is around unlocking our potential together, and that's really key, on why we're gathering. And there's so many ways that this can manifest. I'm so excited to see how it manifests. And this is a way for people and new voices to be heard and be launched. And that's what I believe. I do believe, when I first attended my first open space, I have spoke a few times, but it ignited something new to me to go out even further than locally, but more globally into the community, share ideas, work with others. And I've seen that with other people who have been in the open space, not just me, many others, where they found their voice, they found their tribe, they found a global tribe where it's more than just friendship, it's family. We support one another, or actively, you can call them up any day and they will share with you information. Um, and some, as a way, is that ambassadorship happens, where they will bring you along and give you an opportunity uh, to share your voice in different places. An opportunity to say, hey, I'll help you craft, this experience, this talk. One of the things that Women in Agile is doing, like, we just had a Women in Agile the Women in Agile conference next to the big Agile conference, as we call it, is they have a Launching New Voices program. It's very intentional where they have mentorship, working with someone completely new. It's not a gradual journey, like me, completely new. They may have been an attendee, and then they begin, and they're up here the next year speaking in front of, hundreds of ladies, and that's powerful. And and that's that's more than just mentorship. That is that's sponsoring them and saying that, believing in the opportunity, and they do beautifully, and they're all wonderfully, and it's amazing to see like what they do next. And
I want to make
and
sure
it,
that we get
it
a logistics on. Sorry, this is the Women in Agile Open. It is in Cleveland, Ohio. And when is it,
yes,
April?
it's October 10th through 12th, and
And I
it's
believe
what's
tickets are still
what's
available.
tickets are still available. And what's unique about this experience, we will have a Thursday night networking event. Saturday, we will have Friday and Saturday, I should say. Thursday night networking, Friday and Saturday is an open space. There will be a brunch and afternoon tea and a dinner cruise. So we're really excited about it. We're really excited about the bonds that are created, the new voices that'll be launched from it. What will manifest, the collaborations, um, people finding their tribe.
This literally
People,
sounds like,
yeah.
sorry, I was going to say, this literally sounds like you have crafted an experience for us all to enjoy and appreciate.
Yes, all at all levels, not just new people in the space, people who have been there a while, and and what they can contribute. Uh, Maybe things that they haven't realized, they haven't tapped into, and that we're able to discover that together. In
That
working
is
with
awesome.
others, you're able to discover new things. Don't even know what it is, and that's exciting. We're going to expect the unexpected, as we like to say.
I love it. Given all of these experiences you had professionally, personally, community, what have been your greatest lessons learned?
Oh, the one is to make things human centered. Get away from the jargon, and I've done that by bringing what I've learned here in this community, and all the different ways is when I've done it for social impact. The same, for example, one of the last projects that I did and explored with my serial collaborator. Uh, yeah, we we did leverage design thinking. It's for social impact in the realm of immigration. That can we change hearts and minds around immigration with design thinking? And we're really surprised, like with what came out of it.
Okay, I wish I was there when you were doing this, and I really want to experience this. That's incredible. I mean, April, how would you crystallize all of these attributes into advice, perhaps that other women could say, I can do that one thing to be more like April?
Well, I wouldn't say to be more like April. I would say, you know, to walk in their strengths, and sometimes look at what you believe are your weaknesses, what other people tell you are your weaknesses, because one of the greatest gifts that I had is when I discovered that what I believed was my greatest weakness was my greatest strength. Like my vulnerability. And that's before all the things like, oh, the power of vulnerability. That was before that, and discovering like, hey, you know, I'm vulnerable, I'm passionate, different things like that. And that was seen like the world, the male world, told me that was a weakness. And it wasn't. And when I discovered that, hey, you know what, maybe it's not a weakness, and that was a strength, and then how I responded to it, how I acted on it, allow me to fully walk in it and embrace it and be able to be where I am right now, to experiment, to be vulnerable and try new things, to put myself out there, and that by me being vulnerable, it made me a better coach. It gave them the freedom to get beyond those barriers, to have safety. When you show vulnerability, be that first person to show vulnerability. And like vulnerability manifests in so many different ways. But yeah, and I discovered I mentor young girls too that are in high school. And I remember when one of them had the aha moment when I challenged her, and hey, that what she thought was her weakness, and how she was so hard on herself. And then I said, what would that look like if that was your strength? And it completely changed her. It changed her.
April, I can't think of a better note to have brought this interview on, because that was incredibly powerful. I love how you phrased it. Walk in your strengths, but also look at what you think of your weaknesses are and see if there really are weaknesses, because too often we get given labels, and we can turn those labels around and recognize our superpowers, as we call it. Thank you so much, April, for doing this interview with me. And thank you for being so generous with your time to the community and for with us.
Thank you.